What up, guys? It's White Lightning here, back again today, and we're going to be talking about the idea of letting go of some your memories. And I don't mean letting go of your memories, but things that hold memories, and then keeping the ones that you know you can't get rid of. Essentially, what my point with any and all this is going to be is there's always going to be that something or some things that you know letting go is going to do more damage to you than keeping it. And there's always going to be those things that do the opposite, where they do more damage the more you keep them. So if you have a scenario like mine where she left kind of in a hurry, or I should say she or your significant other, um, left in a hurry, and they didn't take all their stuff, you're kind of responsible for it at that point. And there's certain things like you're gonna do, such as like if they leave clothes, you're probably gonna keep it for a little bit and then just donate it to some Salvation Army or whatever. And that's not a bad idea for something like that. The things we're more referring to are the gifts that you gave to them that they might have left or not wanted to take, or just simple things like pictures that were printed out that she or your significant other wanted. Things like that that kind of me are hard to deal with, or even letters or something, because their memories, they're good things, and now they're gonna be still somewhat good, but you're gonna have a hard time with them whenever you look at them. In a lot of ways, there's certain things you have to take in consideration. How much of an importance is it to you to keep? Like old letters, if you both are sitting there explaining how much you love each other and all this thing, whenever you see that, you're going to remember what it was that you had and then what ended up happening. And those sometimes will be those things that you can't keep or you can't get rid of. But in most scenarios, those are things that are going to hurt you the more you keep them, especially if you have letters that you gave to the person, because then you're gonna be like, if you still feel the way you did, it's gonna affect you, because you're gonna be like, I even told her this, and they didn't care anymore. They still fell away from me. And that's part of the thing I'm going through right now, is taking consideration what I need to do to move forward and keep the things that I need to keep. You know, some of the things like pictures or whatever else, if you have a digital copy and you have a printout, it's not as important because it doesn't really matter. But in the end, it's still difficult. Big picture memories, and I'm going to use an example. I have a memory and a few pictures of when me, her, and my mother went to Disneyland. And I was on a band trip from high school back into California where I originally lived, and me, her, and my mother able to go to Disneyland because band was already going there anyway. So I got them tickets, and we basically spent the day together on that day. That is such a hardcore memory. It's such a key memory of mine that getting rid of the pictures from that day, or even the ticket I may still have, or it would be hard. It would be way harder to get rid of something like that than just an everyday picture that we took together. Everyday pictures aren't key memories. That is. Getting rid of that is such a hard thing to do because of how key that memory is. Because not only did I get to spend, some quality time with her when I wasn't in the same state originally, and I hadn't seen her for a long time, but I also got to take her to Disneyland and my mother, spend the day with them, and it's hard, and it's something that I know would hurt me more to get rid of than to keep. So something like that is what you have to consider. Those key big moment memories. Everyday pictures, everyday, things. It's important, but it's not something that's needed anymore. Those are the things that are going to end up hurting you more you keep them. And that's where I get to my main point that I have is sometimes those could be big picture items and big picture things in certain scenarios. And the one scenario I am going to go and explain a little bit. For me, back when we were in high school, we were long distance for 2 years. We were together for about 6 months, then I moved to Minnesota, and she was still in Cali. So we had a long distance type thing for about 2 years. In that time frame, she sent me one of the times when we sent letters back and forth. Doing the letter thing was just us being cute and all that. She sent me a letter with a Stockholm, those pictures you get from high school or from your school when you have picture day and all that. You get maybe those wallet size ones and all that. She sent me one of them. And with this, I kept in my wallet our entire relationship. Every time I felt down about something or I felt pretty much anything bad, I looked at this picture and I just realized what I had and what I needed to work for. So getting rid of this would be insanely impossible, but it's just an everyday thing too. This right here was a staple for me. She sent this picture to me and I kept it in my wallet forever. And even when she left, she wouldn't take it. I took it out of my wallet and I gave it to her and I was like, here. She wouldn't take it. Now there's part of the reason is personally she didn't ever like this picture, but that's neither here nor there. She wouldn't take it. So what am I supposed to do? And that's what some people may end up coming into is there's something like this where they won't take it, but it's something so dear that was you. And honestly, for me, putting this back in my wallet is where it's going to be. It's going to stay in my wallet probably until I have something different. And what I mean by that is if she never comes back, it'll be there until I have something new, a new relationship that I believe is going to work. And then at that point, I have to let go of this. Because at that point, it would be hindering my moving forward. But until that point, this is such a key thing for me. Letting go of it would be way more pain than keeping it. And that's what I'm trying to point out is you have to figure out that balance. Some things like this where you've had it for so long, you used it for mental purposes and you kept it on your person because that's what the relationship meant to you. Getting rid of it isn't what you should do. You may have people think that getting rid of everything and doing that, you have to keep things that actually kept you moving forward. When I look at this now, I do get sad. But at the same time though, I know what I'm working for. Even though she's no longer in my life, no longer wants to be with me, this is still a symbol to me. It's a symbol of the fact that I still want to work and put time because sooner or later, someone else's picture will be there. And when that person comes along, again, all in the scenario that we don't get back together and live happily ever after, like the story always wants to be, you always will have that future. And this still symbolizes to me the future that I'm going to have, whether it's with her or someone else. It's still something to work toward, that future. And that's why I think you have to look at everything you've got, accept the idea that you're going to have to get rid of a lot of things, but there's always going to be some small picture, literally, and big picture memories that you have to keep. Because getting rid of it would be a huge mistake. I don't agree with the idea that she has, which is kind of cut off everything from your ex and, just basically get rid of your past. Your past shows you your future. Your past helps your present get to the future. Keeping things like this are insanely important. Some things, just the everyday photo you take, once a week or whatever, no, those aren't that important. But these type of things are. And that's where I really hope, like, with her, she understands at least some of that. Because, like, for me, I made her originally a wooden heart back when we were a little bit newer in the stage, but we were, I think, a year and a half in. And it's the only wooden thing that I've made for anyone. It's the only thing I've actually made despite my dad's best efforts of trying to get me into stuff like that. It's the only thing that I ever wanted to make, and the only thing I have made for someone like that. So there's sentimental on my side there. She originally was going to leave that and not take it with her. I didn't force her to, but I was like, please take this. Like, I basically asked her really, really nicely to take it. And I hope she does keep it. Because if anything else, it's a memory of what she deserves. Someone who's going to do that for her, who's going to put in that extra mile. And that's the big point. Getting rid of every memory isn't a good idea. Because it does show things. That heart shows what she deserves, what she should have. To have someone putting in that much effort. It also shows, the way she used to feel about certain things. It shows your past, so your future's brighter. So you have to find that balance, and it's going to be very difficult, especially when it's something new that you're not used to. You're not going to want to get rid of anything, but you will have to. But it's the key things you have to look at. Are they super important? Were they something that I dealt with every day of the week and something I kind of relied on in a way? And are they big picture memories? Because in the end, who knows if you're going to get back together or not? If you do, you're going to hate the fact that you got rid of everything. But if you never do, you're going to hate the fact that, again, you got rid of everything because those are still memories. In the end, it's all you and who you were, who you have been, and who you can be. That heart, for me, symbolizes what I can do for someone. This picture symbolizes what I want to look forward to. That memory of being at Disneyland shows what I want my future to be and what I'm willing to do for it. And that's the point that I want to make. You have to find a balance. If you need help, talk to those friends I've mentioned many, many times. If you need help, get help to figure out what you should and shouldn't keep. But don't keep everything, and don't get rid of everything. Both are extremes, and both are really not a good idea. You need those big picture moments, but you don't need every small moment. And I really hope this helps anyone out there that's struggling with this right now. It is a balance of thinking and doing, but you will be able to figure it out. And once you do, your future will be brighter. You'll be able to look back on those memories, a month, year, 10 years from now, and still feel maybe a little pain, but enough happiness because that is your memory. That was a good time. To get rid of all that just doesn't make sense. My closing statement, and yes, I'm going to call it that, is memories and your past are important. Not every single memory, not everything from your past is important. But those big picture things, those things that keep you going, are. Keep those. You don't need everything else, but those you do. And I hope you guys have a good night.